Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Today's video is really an update of my earlier, the colors are going back into slavery theory. Seeing that I was correct with predicting their Christian coup, I thought it only prudent to see if they are diligently working to manifest the desires of their hearts. You know, making America white again, thus proving it was only halftime in the Civil War over slavery. To do this, we will read a couple of unfortunate events to see if we can deduce, mind you, a prelude of blacks going back into slavery in America. Here is the first one. According to Reuters, under Trump administration sends judges to immigration detention centers, March 9, 2017, quote, the Department of Justice is deploying 50 judges to immigration detention facilities across the United States, according to two sources and a letter seen by Reuters and sent to judges on Thursday. The department is also considering asking judges to sit from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., split between two rotating shifts to adjudicate more cases, the sources said. A notice about shift times was not included in the letter. The Department of Justice did not respond to requests for comment. Stop. So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, it's going down. Before you twist your mind to think these events will not affect you, I bid thee to tell me not nay, and allow me the time to get your minds right first. See, to understand the oxymoron of the current American situation, thus exposing the Hegelian dialect, all one must do is look at the situation from an American oligarch point of view for just a minute. So, they want you to believe those whose vast wealth, influence, and power foundation, in this case, low wages, no vacations, no health benefits, etc., will not only support, but even give aid and comfort with millions of their dollars to the very people campaigning to reduce their fiscal bottom line. No. Before you answer that, the titans I'm talking about are the very people who believed, fought, and won in a court of law that the fiduciary laws were unjust to companies, meaning now your investment banker, etc., do not have to put your best interests first in dealing with your money. So you're going to tell me, all of a sudden, and out of the blue, these financial scoundrels are going to support a government that will severely slice into their profit margins? Let me put it to you like this. What just happened in America is the equivalent of a Southern slave-holding gentleman voting for Abraham Lincoln. Can you imagine how high a loaf of bread is going to cost without the immigrants doing everything in the chain it takes to make that loaf of bread? Or what about the price of a hotel room now? What do you think will happen to the billion-dollar landscaping industry when all of this is rolled out? In fact, according to Yahoo News, under one kind of drought ends for California farms, but another of migrants to work in the field now looms. May 5th, 2017. Skipping the beginning, talking about the lack of rain California had. Quote, then something miraculous happened. Late last year, all over California it began to rain, and in the Sierra Nevada, it began to snow. Historic storms that replenish streams and reservoirs that supply water for much of the state. Suddenly, the Central Valley was green and lush, the soil fertile and fully ready for planting in a way the farmers hadn't experienced since 2011. But with the passing of one crisis came another worry. Personal quote. Now we have the water we need, but now I don't know if we have the people we need to pick the crops, Dale Busker said on a recent afternoon as he walked a reporter through a melon field he was getting ready to plant. President Trump's pledge to crack down on illegal immigration has sent chills through the Central Valley, where farmers like Dale Busker rely heavily on migrant farm labor to plant, tend, and pick their crops. Though there's no complete tally, a recent Department of Agriculture study estimated that nearly 60% of California farm laborers are unauthorized to work in the U.S., a number that has steadily increased over the years as farmers have struggled to find those willing to do the jobs. Example. Remember, people, Georgia Governor Nathan Deal has already given the perception of making the prisoners work in the fields. Atlanta is just south of the chicken capital of America. Surely you know who works there, right? Saying that, I gotta poke fun at you black people. Do you realize how much chicken and watermelon will skyrocket now? It was just observation. I don't mean nothing by it. Saying that, the way I see it, we can look at these upcoming pains as unintended consequences, thinking the elite's gluttonous lust for greed, power, and souls has supplanted their eternal model of conquest. You know, the mechanics of capitalism. Or we can respect Mr. Charlie's evil genius and realize he told the business titans, pun intended, to simply chill. We got that covered. What I mean is, you don't break something that works unless you have found something that works better. Enter stage left. The American Constitution, and the real reason why the Pence administration has stacked the deck with constitutional experts. The Triple C's have heard all of this before, but I think the weight of the current matter warrants us to touch on it again. See, it comes to find out, slavery is still legal in the United States if they can link it to a crime, according to the 13th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Quote, neither slavery or involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime, whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist in the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. Example. Again, you can look at it from two ways. Either the white man has lost his economic mind, or they have something else in the works that will prove him to be the wicked genius we all know in our hearts to be true. To bolster my theory, what would be the odds of this upcoming thing and it not be an organized plan? According to ABC News, under number of people serving life in U.S. prisons is surging, new report says. May 4th, 2017. Quote, the number of people serving life sentences in U.S. prisons have nearly quadrupled since 1984, according to a new report issued by the Sentencing Project, a research group based in Washington, D.C., focused on criminal justice issues. The study found that a record-breaking 206,268 inmates were serving life with possible parole, life without parole, or virtual life sentences in 2016. 1 out of 7 people in prison in the United States. Stop. Now wait a cotton picking minute. Pun intended. Didn't we discover crime was on a sharp decline? This can only mean those who are convicted are getting the max sentences. It says 1 out of 7 people in prison have no physical hope whatsoever. But wait! Let's continue, please. Quote, a virtual life sentence, according to the Sentencing Project, is any sentence with the likelihood that the prisoner will die in custody. Within those numbers, the Sentencing Project found that 1 in 5 African American prisoners will serve a life sentence or the equivalent of a life sentence, and that close to 12,000 prisoners of all races are serving sentences for crimes they committed in their teenage years. Example, 1 out of 5 so-called African Americans will spend the rest of their lives behind bars, huh? Question, are you still thinking like an American oligarch? If so, let's look at the situation again. We know the common white man is easily manipulated through greed or a fear of loss, whether it is perceived freedom, comforts, coveted white privilege, etc. Basically, make the white man perceive pain, and no matter how gruesome or hoary-headed it is, they will give their leaders the power to stop the pain. Likewise, the white man will kill for sport, lust, and greed as well. My question is, what if, mind you, the evildoers plan to use both triggers? Let me say it again. The evildoers plan to use both trigger mechanisms to incite white psychosis to accomplish their ultimate goal. You know, return to the natural order of things, making America white again. Give me your ear and let me explain, please.